Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Fountain County Council meeting dated March 9th, 2026. We'll start off with a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll do roll call this morning. I am here. Jeff Fischerow.
Here.
Denise Crowder. Here. Dudley Fruey.
Here.
Todd Haig.
Here.
Jeff Carver.
Here.
And Jim is absent today. Also present is Kim Johnson, the auditor. Lisa Spearing, who is the secretary to the auditor's office. And Ethan Myers, who is our attorney, is not here. Has everyone had an opportunity to view the agenda as presented? Is there any additions or corrections?
Do we want to add, because I think it was, we talked about at the last meeting, the resolution on the longevity.
It's on the agenda.
Oh, it's on the. We didn't say-
Oh, I do see it. It's under treasurer's monthly report, under maternity leave.
Oh, no. It just got added. Yep. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Dudley Fruey. Is there a second to the motion?
Okay.
Seconded by Denise Crowder. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. 5-6-0. Approval of minutes from the meeting February 9th, 2026. Has everyone had the opportunity to look over that? And is there any additions or amendments? Motion to approve. Motion by Denise Crowder. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dudley Fruey. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 6-0. Passed. Approval of minutes, meeting date February 23rd, 2026. Has everyone had opportunity to view that? Is there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, may I get a motion? Motion by Jeff Crowder or Jeff Fischerow. I'm just used to Denise doing it.
Second.
Seconded by Todd Haig. All in favor, say aye. 6-0.
It's,
I can't.
Oh, that's right, 5-0 because Mr. Carver was absent. All right, elected officials and department reports, starting with Ken. Got it, right? Okay, do you have anything for us?
No.
All right. Is Tiffany here? Is Amber here? Patty is not here. I'm sure she's busy. Nikki Allen. Ayla, I didn't see her either. Tina, do you have anything for us today? Oh, I wanted to ask you, did you happen to speak to the Lyft people?
Yeah, I'm waiting on them to get back.
Okay,
I called twice.
okay, thank you. Wayne, do you have anything for us?
Yes, got it. Thanks.
All right. Was it this lovely packet that you gave us?
That's one of the things,
Okay.
yeah. Just as a note, this week's payroll is the lowest of the year, by like $1,100. We have 0 part turnover, so we covered everything internally, the photo system. I had a question about, we have a stipend for our fleet officer, we have a stipend for our training officer. Starting today, each shift has a team leader. And I would like to give the fleet officer stipend to each of the team leaders. What it comes out to is about 2.5 hours of overtime a week. because they do things outside of their shift. This is all built into the payroll. It wouldn't need any additionals. I can cover it, with what I have. The difference is $15,660. But that allows some flexibility with them coming in and doing things on days when they're not working. So I have 4 people. The fleet guy works on the trucks. I'm making him a team leader. I have a scheduler that answers the calls all hours, and he's our scheduler and kind of an IT guy. And then he would be a team leader. I have a supply guy that also runs supplies on his days off. I think it'll cut down on overtime. And like I said, it's about 2.5 hours worth of pay a week. But if they basically come in and do anything with their specialty job, then it's just covered under the site. The fleet guy comes in a couple times a week and changes oil, does things like that. And it's just covered by that one team. So also the training officer, so when he's coming in to do training or to talk to people about training or set up training, it'll all be covered under that stipend. Like I said, it's $15,660. I don't have an assistant. That was 80,000 or 75 or whatever. It'll all be included in there. I don't need any more money. Also, the training coordinator, I'd like to shift his over to the office, the building lady. It's a smaller amount, and just to make a difference, because I'm gonna have to adjust her responsibilities also in office. As far as trying to split up some of, last night I left the station at midnight, got a call 5 something for all in. I think 65.5 hours this week, and that's just if I happen to keep track of when I'm not thinking about this place. So it would help carry some of that load, and then the team leaders are going to take some of the day-to-day questions that are easier to answer, that don't need to be sent all the way to the top, I guess.
So you're gonna have 4 team leaders, is that
Yeah,
correct?
so each shift, every single day, we'll have a team leader. They'll report to me, but they'll handle everything internally if they can. And then that way, when I disseminate out information, it'll go to 4 people, and then they can spread it out. So it keeps more of the fun game to a more straight line and linear.
Okay, and then you want to utilize the stipend for the fleet officer. And then for the other 3, you want to utilize funds from what would have been the assistant director's position.
Yes.
And Kim has already checked into that with State Board of Accounts, and I believe they've okayed
Yes.
to be able to do that. Okay,
And that way it doesn't, so if there's some flexibility for me, if I switch somebody, that the stipend just gets changed to that person rather than their pay having to go through some kind of change or whatever. So it's more of a quicker way to adjust it. It's $261 per pay period. Like I said, it's all built in. I already have the money for it, and we actually will have an excess in payroll this year. And I gave back at the beginning of the year, so I don't know why I wouldn't do the same thing at the end of this year.
mhm,
The training officer would then, who is also going to be a team lead, would then, his is $53 for his stipend. Well, that's the one that would go to the office staff. And that's just 3%. Like I said, I have to change her responsibilities also, so to pick up some of the not having so many people in office. And we should have over 100 grand in payroll at the end of the year, so I extrapolated it out. So like I said, this was the lowest payroll, like $1,100. So, and then you guys have any questions about that?
I don't, council, do you have any questions regarding that portion of this?
Otherwise, I'm gonna have to have them turn in overtime. I mean, they're kind of helping out and it's borderline not right, so I need to do one or the other.
Mhm.
And I don't see any of them, but in less than 2.5 hours a week. So. I think it'll be net positive for us too. Also, it's a little easier to keep track of. I'll have to.
Right.
And then the paperwork that you got about the billing, I've been here 3 months now almost. I think going with outside billing is a positive thing. I kind of did the legwork, you can go with ESO. The downside is that they don't like, they don't have time as much for a bigger company, for like bigger places, look a little smaller, and we won't get our attention, I don't think. Carter County uses 911 billing out of Kentucky. She's really happy with them. That's the program I kind of picked out from all the legwork. They do complete account management. They do a compliance program also. You can get paid for fraud even if you're not trying to do fraud. And then with Medicaid and them, they can pull back all their payments for a year, or if anybody wants to see, money disappear all the time. It's anywhere from 6.49 to 6.95% of net collections for the month. So it's not what you bill, but it's what they bring back. They have 100% record for everybody that they brought in, ends up making more money or more revenue. I talked to the guy, he thinks we're billing on average maybe $400 per run. More on some, less on some, or not on some, so it averages out. The two neighboring counties that he does are up around $800 per run. He believes at bare minimum he can increase our revenue by 50% and up to probably 100%. And they come in and just, like I said, they do training on us how to fill up the ESO, our patient care reports, to help with the billing side of it. They come in and do compliance programs. They do on-site training for everybody. So I think that's an intelligent look at. He said a lot of companies or counties look at, they have billing software, they want to wait till their billing software contract is up. Just for the $8,000 or whatever that we're paying that, but it's like you're losing $20,000 or more every month that you don't sign up with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably not wise to wait just because we have something else going on, because they can make that back to pay that off and then move forward with that. And I'm also looking at some equipment, some ways to get the equipment so that it can be more budget friendly or budgeted in at least. So it's more of a known cost for the annual service rather than just $300,000 a year for additionals. And I would like to have the ambulance, when we purchase an ambulance in the future, have it in the budget from the beginning of the year, so that it's a known cost to you guys. And that would be probably every other year for now for the size of the art.
Okay, so let's just recap real quick. You want to do 14 liters, but you already have one, correct?
No, I have all four. They start today.
No, I mean, you have four,
Oh, yeah.
one was already there,
Right.
yeah, okay, perfect. And you want to utilize funds that you currently have plus partial of the assistant director's
Yes.
position funds. Billing, you would like to use an outside billing service. Well, and I understand why. You and I kind of had a conversation about that. They know all of the regulations with Medicare and Medicaid. Yeah.
So nothing, I mean, our billing lady is great, and she would still be required in. Just to keep a ledger of the accounts, the patient accounts, so when you get a statement from the billing company, you're gonna still need to track. So you're not gonna just set money from people and be like, okay, so you're gonna track as payments come in, as things go to court, things get written off, you're gonna keep your own ledger of that. And like I said, in the front office, I need someone for public. To help the public when they come in or to do phone calls, and I can also assign other duties as far as the. Office. For like station supplies and stuff like that, and fill it in I'm filling her duties, so. There wouldn't be a need to be change in personnel or anything like that.
Okay. And then you want to put your ambulance in your budget, so it shows a actual cost for each year.
Not to
Right,
muddy the water.
right. Council, any questions?
I have a question. Are we behind on our billing?
Yeah, well, we're still switching over,
Okay.
so
Cause I noticed January and February collections are about half of what it normally is,
Yes.
so.
We didn't vote on or get the approval for the switch soon enough. If the deadline was 12/31, I think we voted on 12/30 or 12/31. I put it in, I went back and put it in that night. And then there was that 2 to 3 months that it's gonna take to get up and going again. I think Medicare just got cleared for billing, that's our largest biller, so that's one of them that was being pushed back. They're all able to still be billing. We haven't lost anything, should be pushed down the road.
Mhm.
Also, if we go with the outside billing, anything that we build has to be tracked and what's collected. So they don't do anything with what we've already done. So there's multiple years of work that needs to be done in that sense also, of tracking what we've already done.
Do you have a cost on this outside billing?
It's 6.45%. Or 6.95%, depending on if you go 2 or 3 years.
If you collect it, right?
Yes, it's only on
Only on
collected,
collection.
not billed, and it's net, it's a net collected funds for the month.
Okay,
And so on $1 million, it's like 65,000.
I figured it 800,000.
The difference between the two plans on $1 million is like $4,400 in a year, so. If you wanted to stay with the shorter, the 2 years instead of 3 years, and that's just the initial term, but. From the way Julie speaks about them, she's really happy with them, and how they are always answering the phone, always able to help. Always doing training with them, so
and they're available to you, I think, basically 24/7.
Yes. 24/7, and they'll actually come down and they have annual refreshers on how to fill out patient care, how to do compliance programs. There's actually times that if you read in there that people have been kind of hit with a fraud lawsuit and it hasn't gone forward because of the compliance programs. They basically did everything they could to not be in that situation. So anything you can do to prove that you're trying to not do that, then use that as a defense also, so. I think it just gets rid of a lot of liability for the county as far as them doing billing. And assisting us on how to, they're up to date, the insurance changes a lot often, and it's hard for a small place to stay up with all the changes, so.
Right.
When you're outside the changes, you can either not get paid or get dinged with some kind of fraud thing, even though it's not willing.
Right, and you don't want to risk losing all of your funding that gets
Right.
paid out. So. And what company is it that you're looking into? 100%.
911 billing. Yeah, I talked to West Point, they use ABC billing, I think they brought that in through, the old T's. And he's had, but they're more fire based. ESO does good, I heard. For like Tippecanoe County and them, but they're a lot bigger, and they service the bigger accounts first. So you kind of get pushed down the list. 911 billing, is accessible all the time.
Any other questions for Carl?
In charge.
I'm having a heck of a day, y'all.
Listen, how often is that?
Wait, does anyone else have questions for?
I don't know, it's a 2 year or 3 years, so.
Deal.
Right,
Yeah,
but
that
I'm
changes.
assuming it can't change until the end of that, but I'm not sure that they change it often. I talked to Julie over in Park County, and her rate is right in there, so I don't think that they like it for 2 years and then jump it up.
Mhm,
Yeah, okay.
Because she's been there longer than that, so hers is still in that
Range.
ranges. And the meetings and stuff, I asked you come down and then charge us, another $2,000 for come down or whatever, and it's all built into the percentage, because, if he can increase. What we can bill for, then his side goes up. So it's all, they only take the percentage, and anything they offer outside of that is pumped or
mhm.
It's part of the.
used to bring up our billing money, which then increases their.
What do you think, council?
I know we went with a change because we had to earlier on, but it was now that I've had 3 months to look at over stuff, I think it's a way easier decision to just do it this way, so.
Yeah, we were at Rockland Park Place.
I need to try to get some more information right up. Not sure what. So they know when.
We need to put it on. With the agenda.
Mhm.
Very
Probably should, yeah. Put it on the agenda for April.
good. Sounds like I agree. I think he's got his way.
Yeah, yes, too.
Sounds like an opportunity.
Because I'm trying to cut back also, so. But if you can increase the income, then.
Right.
It'll streamline things for you.
Increase the income rate.
Yeah. But I thought we had money budgeted for Bill.
Just 4 pages that open so much and went right there. Okay.
Contractual services,
Services.
there's 8,000.
Yeah, if you put for the year. Which it wouldn't be that much probably, it's just really.
Well, then it'll come out of what they
It'll
collect.
collect, yeah.
So there's no actual payment as far as finding.
So,
I don't think it's something we need to
Mm-mm,
really vote on.
mm-mm.
He said a lot of places try to hold out till the end of the contract, and you kind of explained that to me a couple times, just because. It's human nature to want to be like, I'm already involved in this, because like we can pay that off in 1 month, for the whole year and then move forward, so.
Right.
And then
Do you have a percentage of what you bill right now? How much should I be collecting?
I don't,
For them to say they're gonna increase it so much.
well, we have about 200 runs a month, and we bring in 60 to 80,000 to the courthouse, is kind of how I worded it to him, normally that's our average, and so if you divide that, yeah, if you do 70,000 and divide it by 200. Then it's down to 1,350 a run, or. It's something that's just more than that, sometimes it's less than, it's a very news. But like I said, 100% of the people that have switched to that have made on top of,
They've seen an increase.
yeah, they've never
So
had
you're
it.
not billing approximately $40 per run, you're billing more.
No, we're billing more, we're bringing in about $400 a run is what the average.
That's a. If those figures, that's in your rate, like 100% of what you bill.
Yeah,
And then you probably are.
no, yeah, we're collecting, no, we are getting $400 per bill, but we're billing more than that. And he used the 2 neighboring counties as a reference because the location and, rural is different than in the city, so he was trying to use people close to us, so they get around 800 per bill. As far as what they bring back, not what they bill out.
Right.
Everybody doesn't get what they.
They don't get 100% back.
Yeah. Nobody gets 100%, I mean, because. There's
Would you say that you get 50%?
of what we bill out.
Mhm.
Yeah. I said that.
Like they see that to know what.
To gauge what?
Yeah, they didn't understand what this is gonna cost us.
So do they think they can do 350 over and above what you're getting now?
He thinks he can increase our revenue by at least 50%, so that's on the low side, up to 100%, just from what he knows from. He asked how far away our hospitals are. I told him we have one that's 4 miles away. We don't always go there from that station, but also our other station is farther away, 20 some miles away from the closest hospital.
Right.
So he kind of took that into account with the transport time. This is a lot of it is mileage.
Mhm.
So. Like I said, I just talked to him on phone and tried to give him his best information, so we're. He didn't have any doubt, like I said, their record shows that.
Yeah, I'm all for collecting if we can. But I'm like Denise, I'd like to see what the cost of a run is and what we're getting. And then if he can do over what we're getting. I mean, that's money that we weren't getting.
Right. Well, and it's not, just so everybody understands, it's not raising the price on the citizens, it's what was built anyway.
Right, right.
And we're just.
It's not-
collecting it.
right,
It's like the
exactly.
insurance companies,
It's just a better success rate having
better
that.
success rate, because. Smaller people have to accept whatever they give you. It's like when you wreck your car and they offer you something and you don't have the time or the money to fight with them, you just take the smaller check. Where they have it built in, it's like, they call the people and they already have a. You know, a relationship with them, they know they're gonna hardball them, so they're like, okay, I'll just pay you the higher thing or whatever, you know, so.
Mhm.
So there's nothing we're doing wrong necessarily, it's just we don't have the ability to negotiate the higher prices. and stuff like that.
Right.
And then they also can find things, fine tune with their knowledge on how to fill out things to get. You know, different things built, so.
Mhm. Yeah, I just think we want to see a return on of investment, what those numbers look like. If you could get those to us.
I
If you-
try, I
if
mean,
you could
every
try.
insurance company is different, every
Right.
bill is different, I mean, so there's different out of an average, so.
Yeah, that would work. Also, I got a question too, because somebody asked me, runs in the county. Where would you say the majority of the runs are? In your opinion?
I mean, we have a majority of our runs are in. Attica, Petersburg, and Covington take a lot of the runs, and. King is probably close second, I mean, just because. Which is farther out, but
Right,
Population is one.
yeah, it's a population thing. And the kind of the mindset. Of some other places, other counties have. More farmers, you know, they don't call, you know,
Right.
to a farm, something bad's happening.
Right.
So, where you have more of a mind, I think we are helping a lot of people here, so. Used to us something, so.
have you been in contact with the mayor of Attica in regards to a building or location for your station there?
I just heard that. The other building that they're looking at got kind of taken back by the substation in. I heard there's something. That's just off of Facebook, which I don't even use, just happened to see something. That there's a building out by, or space, land out there, city owns, out in Trace.
Mhm.
I don't know, I know our fuel tanks are right outside the bedroom windows. Which I don't like. And. The garage there owns the land all the way up to the front of the fuel tank, so they. Rightly so use that land for parking cars when they're working on them, which then makes it hard for us to fuel up, so if we're gonna stay there. I would suggest moving that fuel tank. If I would hate to see something happen there, and it's right on the outside wall of those bedrooms.
Right,
But it's always kind of a, we're moving, we don't change, you know.
I do know that the city of Attica had gotten an Oker grant, I think it was $750,000 to use towards a location building. You know, those things take time, so if you would like those fuel tanks relocated, probably talk to the mayor and see if he can get that
And
done.
I think maybe just the fuel company can move them,
Mhm.
once it's low enough that they're gonna fill them again, so.
Right. Yeah, I think
But
that's.
it's just
I
electrical
would
disconnect
agree.
that needs to be put down.
Yeah.
But just for safety, I think.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, it's working, it keeps them warm and. But it's not ideal.
Right. Right,
The roadside attract.
yeah,
We can get railroad. And the bad thing, you can get railroad, you can't even call. I mean, Warren County or anybody's on that same side, so we get on the other side.
yes, I agree. And I think they agree too, the city agrees as well, so. Anything else for Garth? I mean. So sorry, Wayne. Oh, my goodness. He must be on my mind today.
It's okay, Cindy.
Okay, so anything else for us?
No.
Well, I appreciate everything you're doing, Wayne. I know you have stepped into it, not knowing what exactly you were getting into, and I know that you have had a lot of things to deal with that you came across and are making every effort to correct those things and making the ambulance department better. And I'm hopeful that everyone sees that. I think they do. And I've tried to encourage you, and I hope that I'm doing a good job of that, because I think you are doing a very good job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I can't promise I will not call anybody else. It's not theirs. But I will try. Let's move on with, Jenny will not be here, but she did send me a text message. She had a call this morning that she had to take. She said all but one of the items will come out of 1206 Health Trust. And the Dalton Milligan will have to come out of 1159 County Health, she said. So I want to make everyone aware of that. And the county, the 1159, looks like there is a good balance in there. And it looks like we're okay in 1206. Dudley, do you have any questions?
1159, I'm really worried about is because there was like 1.2 million in there just a couple years ago, and we're not collecting anything in that account, and we're down to 700, and so we need to be careful because their budget's going to take half of that this year, and we're not going to have any revenue.
Exactly, and I'm assuming this movers is the Dalton Milligan.
Yeah.
I thought we had approval for all of that to come out of that trust.
I wonder if his bill could not, and she's not on because she's in a conference call. Otherwise, I think she would have said that coming out of all of it, coming out of there would be fine. There must have been a problem.
And we voted on that all coming out of that trust, so I don't think we can take it out of 1159 without being advertised and making a new vote.
We can table his.
Well, you really, the movers?
Yeah, we need to get them paid.
Yes. Yes.
All right, let's circle back to that. I've sent her a message. And just waiting to see if we hear back. Let's move on to Jason Lewis.
I don't have anything for you guys, unless you want to discuss the mower at this time or when it's on the agenda, so it's.
Well, it's on the agenda under department heads, so.
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
Ryan Berg with Brown Equipment is here. If you guys have any questions, we can discuss the mower that you guys have voted for at the joint meeting, I believe. So. If you guys have any questions, pricing, leasing, you guys are okay with that? Ryan can answer any questions you might have on that. Chris?
If I recall from our discussion, that was gonna be out of next year's budget, right? And you're gonna have $111,362 lease that you won't have in 2027.
So that'll be the last place we have. So we won't have any more leases after that.
Okay.
Several different options, depending on which term, so.
Yeah, originally when we did that, it was, I think we had kind of agreed on 5 is what you guys felt comfortable with, but there, you can always look at it a shorter term, in 3 years, what we had originally, or if you want to go to either 6 or 7, that's always an option too. The majority usually hit the 5 because it's kind of a sweet spot to handle for budgeting purposes, and then time to be able to kind of get it paid off and move on to your other expenditures that you guys have as well too. And there's no early penalty payoff, so if you decide you want to knock it out faster than that, or pay it down sooner, you're welcome to do that as well too.
With no penalty, correct?
Correct, correct. Yeah, and it's nice for the fact that you guys are able to get the equipment right away. It's a year, whenever you take delivery. So you have time to be able to make that budget plans for your what works best for you guys, but these guys are able to utilize the equipment and get caught up.
Mhm.
They feel like they've been behind on due to the current situation that we're using.
So this is just a rough, this 314,161. That is the actual cost.
Correct, yes, that would be the cost of the actual mower itself, and then they would have 2 attachments. A rotary head and a forestry head, plus a rear blower, and that's that combination of all those components.
And
together.
that's included in this total.
Correct, yes. Mhm.
The 5-year payment is 72,193. So that's what we'd be looking at for budget.
For 5 years.
Probably next year.
That the 3 years, 114, and we're gonna be, if we've already budgeted 111. And that's in their budget. I'm kind of inclined to go with the 3 year, since it's only gonna increase. It's only gonna be a $3,000 increase in your budget, but you're gonna have that money. You have that money for this year, and
Which one is paying, which lease is paying off?
We have 2 graders that we leased, like Rusty got those 5 years ago.
So
they're-
yes, are those graders
I'm sorry.
okay, are those graders okay to continue, or were you thinking of something else was going to need to replace
No,
that payment next year?
no, this is what we're looking at. What we've been doing for our equipment is kind of leapfrogging a tandem and a grader every year and just buying it outright.
Right.
So we don't have leases to pay for it.
Mhm. So this would be and take the place of. Those, yeah, it's just
As long
trading.
as there's not a lot of pieces of equipment.
Exactly.
Right.
I can trigger the whole year. Doing the 3-year and get done 14.
you need a motion on that.
We're gonna need a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve this purchase at the 3 year plan.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 6-0.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Robinson, is he here? Mr. Bates? No.
I don't have, it, Kelly,
Mr. Carroll?
have anything.
Mr. Astrid?
Hear me.
Good morning. Morning. I had the auditor send out some information over the weekend, that I'll cover here and kind of tie it all together. The first item is this spreadsheet I have put together that really contains, the numbers of what we see in the office. Last year, we had 599 criminal cases that were filed. That requires us, when a case report comes in, to review the case report. Edit it so that we redact certain information that shouldn't be made public when we file the charges. We've got to run the criminal history report for each suspect, as well as the Bureau of Motor Vehicles report. And then we have to build the actual case, prepare the charges, get them filed in the system. We then have to go to court on each case for initial hearing, then just preparing discovery responses, notifying victims, talking to witnesses, and making plea negotiations. Infractions, you can see the course of them over the last 7 years included in there, and juvenile delinquency hearings or cases as well. Those juvenile delinquency hearings or cases are on the rise. Wish has the number for this year, but those take even a greater amount of time to go through. Hearing wise, meeting with Victims, sometimes there's what's called a bureau status, which requires Ms. Wesh to then sit in a 2-hour meeting to discuss one case. And I think she's had 3 of those meetings in the last month. So all in all, we're seeing an increase in cases, which is creating more work for us to handle. Some things that aren't tracked on this spreadsheet is a PTR, a petition to revoke. So somebody that's on probation has violated for one reason or another. We've got to prepare that motion, get it filed, go to court on it, work on how to resolve it. Title 4D matters. I think Ms. Wesh averages, she's showing her figures, probably 48 to 50 hours a month is where her work goes on that as well. The XP cases are expungements. That requires us to review the petition, run criminal history searches, B&B reports, and prepare a response to the person requesting the expungement, and then possibly go for a hearing. SDP are specialized driving privileges. People are coming in more frequently with the law change to get driving privileges when they otherwise could not obtain them. So we're running history reports, B&B reports to go into hearings on those. Then there are fee waivers and extradition hearings that take place. And there's also the preparation of search warrants. That number is built in with our criminal numbers there. The reason I put that top sheet together is to go with the prosecutor analysis report that was prepared and sent out. That report was prepared using figures from 2019. And you can see we've increased about 100 cases per year since then. Based off the figures in that report and the preparation, they were saying we should have been at 3 prosecutors in 2019. We've continued to do this with 2, and it is getting to where there's quite a bit for both of us to try to manage it. The second spreadsheet, or second part of the spreadsheet there shows counties and populations less than ours. And you see how many people are working in the prosecutor's office between support staff or prosecutors. And you'll see we are, of the greatest population, we actually have the lowest number of staff and prosecutors. Those less than us have quite a bit more staff in most cases, and at least one of the prosecutors. Their criminal numbers, I did look at those for 2025, and they are similar to what we are seeing here. In our pretrial diversion fund, over the last 5 years, we've tracked what we've brought in, what we've spent at the bottom there, and what we've brought in overall, just under $100,000 in the last 5 years for our prosecutor diversion fund. People who go on diversion are low-level offending persons. We require them to pay a fee up front, enter into the program, and comply with terms of that program, which typically includes some form of counseling, depending on what your charge is, and to not violate or reoffend. The cost of that program will be going up, so we do anticipate bringing more into that fund, plus whatever is not spent from there remains in that fund. Right now, based off the figures I got from the auditor, we have $234,000 in the fund at this period of time. But on the back side of that page, you see the Indiana code, which authorizes what that fund can be used for. And one of those sections is to employ a deputy prosecutor. Recently in the office, we had one of our clerks leave, and she has taken a job elsewhere. What I'm hoping to do is use her funding from that position and pair it with an additional $30,000 appropriated from the diversion fund to help fund a position for a deputy prosecutor. What it would work out equivalent to would be a position at $80,000 a year. The hourly rate would be $43.96. And that's actually about $10,000 less than your average deputy county paid prosecutor makes in the state of Indiana. That bringing somebody in would help us divvy up our workload so that we're not carrying such a heavy load to really take the burden off some of us.
Council, do you have any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, Kim, are you talking? I don't see where that 234,000's at. I show pre-trial diversion 1182 having 125,000. And it looks like it only collects about $750 a month. That's what we've averaged January, February. Actually, 725 a month, so.
I'll go print it for you, yeah.
Is that why you show 125,000 in that account? That's what's on our financial statement where you see.
Hey, Daniel, was that all of them combined or was that the one? We printed it out, right?
Yes, I'm looking for one you had given me, you printed one out one.
Because there's a prosecutor title 4D incentive, but you're
Yes,
not
it's
counting
not
that
that
one,
one.
so.
Mm-mm.
The free trial diversion,
It was 1182.
1182.
We started at 125, right now we're going 126.
Yes, okay. We started the year at 125 and we're at 126. We collected $1,450 in January and February. Does the state reimburse anything on that?
The state does not.
What
Part of
about-
what generated those analysis report was when they were trying to seek state funding for that. So we're not.
What about retirement? Because our prosecutor deputy's title to retirement, is that gonna be a cost?
It shows
Well-
127. I don't know.
I was built into the
Printed it out
sort
and it was like two.
of funding.
I'm trying to think of why. Actually.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the total will cost. We're gonna have benefits, health insurance costs also.
Right, well, we lost a position, so we're basically absorbing that one. And increasing the funding for it is what I'd like to do. I don't want to replace the clerk. I want to add a deputy prosecutor. In lieu of a clerk.
So right now you have 3 support staff and you're gonna go down to 2.
Right. There would be some administrative stuff that the 3 of us would have to share in. And we think that is viable at this point in time.
My concern is, with the figures you gave us, you know, yeah, we're,
I'll feel like.
all the other counties are 2.5, 2 or 3 prosecutors. But on support staff, if we're down to 2, they're all 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, I mean, that worries me that. Trying to keep it at 2. Was the
41, 427. Yeah.
Okay, so we go ahead and prove that. If we're coming over 5 years, you'll have to increase that about
Yeah, I just thought the same thing.
I mean, this year, the first one.
Yeah, there's.
It's even worse.
You just have to.
The first one, I mean, next year, the budget is increased by 80,000 plus, well, one person.
Now, is that deputy prosecutor entitled to perf?
No, no, it would be a county only,
Okay, so we would have to pay any retirement,
no.
okay.
Here's the ledger I had gotten. From the auditor, the two that we worked at. Did you find the same thing?
See what I have. What is 1182? That's 26,000.
It just before election.
Yeah, okay,
26, so that, yeah, that's.
so that is right, 126.
But that's from. There, from 125.
Right, but that's only 124,000, not 234.
So will be. So will hypothetically, we hire an additional deputy prosecutor. We don't collect, do we collect in that 11?
1182.
Yes,
Well, that's what the money from free trial diversions, what he collects goes into that
and it's only 750, that's across the board.
right now.
So it could be,
725.
so by hiring another prosecutor, could that increase what we collect per month on the diversion?
No, not necessarily. The offense that they get charged, and if you're eligible for it, dictates what it brings in.
Okay. Well, if we decide to do this, we're gonna have to do an additional anyway to, don't we, to pay the difference between what he has remaining or no?
Yes, because the free trial diversion, we only budgeted 8,000.
Mhm.
So,
So that would, we'd have to advertise and then it would have to be voted on at the April meeting,
and Commissioner would vote on that first,
right?
and then we'd have to also do a salary ordinance change.
Mhm. Because it was adding a position.
But you're confident without taking away from one of your clerks. You three can handle that.
I am confident that we can. We sat down and talked about the clerk that left and what she handled. And when we look and the other two had already said, you know, they divvy up the 4D work by alphabet. They had said previously, when she left, they would take over her portion. Then we took a look at what the person would be doing. And I feel that that's enough, that adding the third person and not replacing the clerk is manageable within the office.
Especially with the other two
Yes,
taking on her load.
right. And I don't know if Ms. Jensen found the same figure that she previously given me, so I was trying to mislead the council in any way. I was just going off the report that.
Yeah, we understand that, yeah.
And yes, when the budget time comes around at the end of this year, my budget would look completely different.
How soon would you want to hire a person? Do you have somebody in mind already?
Have somebody in mind, but I also know that it takes a while, like you're saying, to publish, you get everything out there, that's why I was only saying 30,000, because we still have the unspent money from the clerk that left just over a month ago.
Mhm.
So that money is gonna continue to sit there. And we've got to go through this process here if approved. So we're looking to April, May.
Mhm. Well, I think we have to discuss it, and then it has to be advertised. The commissioners have to look at it. So. In a perfect world, if it gets approved, I mean, your start date would probably be May 1 or a little before.
And that's fine. We've been able to get by.
You you put down some counties similar to our size. I'm just looking at, like Vermillion. I mean, do you, public prosecutor down there some about some of these issues as far as their office and how they're, how busy they are and how they're working their staff out?
I have not.
Okay.
I worked in that office, so I know a little bit of how their office works.
Can you come up there?
Just for the recording.
Sorry. I do know that at least one of their staff members is victim assistance only. And that's her total job. Dana does the lion's share of that already. So that takes care of one of their staff members. They only have 140 clerk. Down there in the office, a receptionist, and then I'm not sure how they did the rest of them. Do that.
No, I'm just curious. I think prosecutors' office is very important.
It is very important. They do important work.
Yeah.
Council, do you have anything else?
What do you think? Yeah.
I was like support staff, kind of like she said, that kind of worries me, but they think they can handle it. Obviously, what's going on.
On?
I'm with Jeff, I think. If they think they can do it, I'm for it, you know. Just doesn't make any sense why some of these counties have 8 and 9 support staff members. They must have a heck of a budget.
That's why I think.
What other, yeah, I mean, I guess what other costs do you see going up? Or changing with another prosecutor, I mean, I'm guessing you hope they're gonna do more, so what other kind of soft costs could be an issue or fill up?
As far as paying the position or what could be brought in with the position?
Just, I mean, I think when you add another person, there's other office costs and
Well,
different things that happen. So do you see other budgets having an issue or going up because you're able to do more?
No, I don't, we already have the workstations, we've got the space, we may need a computer to work remotely. So I don't see those are other line items being impacted.
Dudley, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Have anything else?
Jeff? Okay, I think we need to take it to let the commissioners do their portion. I think their intentions is to have a meeting on the 16th, it's just not going to be a joint meeting.
Right.
So they can actually put it on their agenda, and then it will be brought to us on our April meeting. And then we'll just go from there.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for doing all the homework on this too.
Well,
Yeah, thank
thank you
you.
for your time.
All right, we will move forward with, I don't think James is here. No. Dana. 911.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Okay, so I got the measurements for the PSAC units and I went over them. Unfortunately, had to go back to the drawing board because what they had was way too big for the space we have. So he is supposed to have those to me at the end of this week. We're gonna drop them down a foot and a half. And we're gonna have to revamp the space that we have in order for them to fit and we'd be able to move around them. They did guarantee that, the product would be good and that it would, with what we're asking for, would still be there, not having to have anything taken away from that. I still need to hire a part-time. I am going to have a dispatcher out due to surgery. Her rotor cuff needs to be fixed. Don't know how long she'll be out for that. The mapping for Warren County has been fixed, so just fixing some minor issues with that. Now they color coded it for us and it's kind of just an eyesore, so they're gonna have to just take that off. Out of it. Anyway, that's done. That's all I've got that's going on in dispatch. I'm still working the console. Saving money for overtime to come out of our budget. So I didn't know if you guys wanted to continue the discussion on the 2 CTO positions at this time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Okay, so it's a total of $3,006
Yes.
for the 2 positions combined.
Yes.
All right, council. Any thoughts, further thoughts on this matter? That would be $1,503 per position. I think our thoughts are that once the salary was adopted, that we really don't want to have to make an amendment to that salary ordinance. Now I know the next question is, well, you are considering doing that for the prosecutor's office. Well, that is a new position that they're going to be putting in like we did for the floater position for the 911. This would be for a correction. And when I say correction, I mean a correction to it to offset the difference between the positions of a lead versus an operator. Am I correct? Okay. Would anyone else like to share their thoughts?
You don't.
I guess my opinion on it is just. There was an error made when we gave the operators more than we should have. I don't think you fixed that by then in turn giving the leads even more. I think you fix it next year by operators not getting as much as instead of giving the lead operators a raise. The lead operators were paid what we wanted them to be paid. They got the increase they should have. That budget.
Jeff, did you have anything?
Yeah, I was just, it's kind of a. They feel like. They can't wait. Till the next budget comes.
Not with all the responsibilities they have and what they're doing. And to train somebody in there, it's on my title. I don't have time to train somebody. I can't do it. I'm pulling a lot now. Actually saved so far. It's just hard, and with only 12 of us, minus myself would be 11, and 2 of those are part-timers. And I've got 1 part-timer that's not going to be here in August due to a baby. You know, the other one can basically do the opposite shift, but the part-timer can come in and work even her being a dispatcher. So if I can get that other part-time in here, you know, he can take over all that and to get him trained. You know, it takes a good 3 to 6 months depending on the learning abilities of that individual. And when I have somebody that comes along that wants to do the job, that's a plus. It's hard, 911, it's a revolving.
What if we, split $1,500 between the two?
This year and then the rest next year.
I was just speaking for this year.
Yeah, I don't think the parks can match that.
Mhm. The difference between 25 and 26 was 1,695. That was a 3.5% increase. If you gave 750, that's per position. That increase would bump to an additional 2,445 from 25 to 26. So that would be a $769 difference between positions. Any thoughts on that, council?
Do you think that, you'll lose them?
I've got one hanging on until the decision is made.
You know, I don't know if it's out of norm or whatever, but you can take it out of my payroll to make sure that my people are safe and have well-trained dispatchers. I'll have that much in excess, just move it out of my account. Doesn't cost anybody anything.
I don't think that's the issue. I think it's the budget was set, they were paid what they were supposed to. The issue is they're upset that someone that's paid less than them got a bigger raise than they did.
Less responsibility than what they have.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem is. We made a mistake, no one caught it. I mean, we're responsible, but also you're responsible. The operators were given too big a raise, so now. Do we make another bigger mistake by giving another bigger raise? So then, are we gonna open up a can of worms and have other county employees come in and say, well, you've given them another 3%, which we didn't get, and so we're making two errors. And then we could end up with more because other people are gonna come in and say, we've done that, and I mean, we've said that the operators will most likely not get a raise next year because we did give them 6% instead of 3% like
And they were-
everyone else did.
And the CTOs are also American. Also for the 2027. And that sets for the precedence of going on from here on out. Or, you know, the next year, 2028, getting a 3% raise, and that keeps the differential. For the responsibilities of those positions for 911.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, then also then. Are we gonna have other employees come in and say, well, we'll take a 3% raise now and not take anything next year, it's just it's a hard precedent to set, I just don't know. What the solution is, but I really have a problem with. Two wrongs do not make a right, and
We're not good. Yeah. You want us to fix a mistake by making a bigger mistake. Two wrongs, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so moving forward, then we are not going to do anything currently, and we'll do it when we'll look at everything when it's budget hearing times.
Sounds like what,
I mean, that's just the two of us,
Yeah,
and I
just-
mean, what's anyone else?
Pandora's box, be opening, like you said, it's gonna. Everybody's gonna have the same notion, I mean, it's awful, we made a mistake, mistakes we're making.
I know
We
that-
don't wanna lose people because,
No. I don't want to lose good employees,
Mhm.
but yet they have to understand where we're coming from, because if they were sitting in this position that we are sitting in today. How would they feel and what would they,
how would they handle it, yeah.
yes. Unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves, and. No, I don't want to lose good employees. I don't want to have Dana go and train 2 more people because she lost 2 good people. But we have to look at everything as a whole. Too.
it sounds like that's where we're at.
You guys make the decision, make it professional.
Thank you, Dana.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward. I think I need some more paper up there. No, that's not it. Okay, moving forward,
About 10. Film finish like 30, part of it.
yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, Kim,
You're fine.
I'm so sorry. Kim, I keep forgetting.
Let's turn on.
Yeah, I'll, you know.
Kim did let me know about a grant that, and I don't know if she emailed all of you, but she did email me. At 4:38 AM this morning. Just wanting us to know that, it's a project that she submitted for funding through Ready 2.0 Arts and Council's funding. It's for the Creative Co-op Hub. She would like to have a few letters of support to submit with the final application, and she plans on submitting that on March 30th. The project due date is April 15th. This is a working document, she said, so she's still waiting for full budget estimates and stats from the library. So, if you could look those over and send her a letter of support, that would be fantastic. So moving on to unfinished business, the clerk's monthly report for February 2026. Has everyone had an opportunity to view that? And do you have any questions, concerns, or amendments for any of the above?
I'll make a motion to accept the report.
Dudley made the motion to accept the report. You have a second.
Second.
Seconded by Jeff Fisherow. All in favor, say aye. Aye, 6-0. Report of collection sheriff ambulance, health department and the clerk for February of 2026. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Jeff Carver, seconded by Todd Haig. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
6-0. Treasurer's monthly report for January 2026. May I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dudley,
Second.
seconded by Jeff Fischerow. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
6-0. Let's jump to the longevity ordinance. So the, I guess it's a resolution. The resolution that was drafted by Ethan Myers, the county council attorney. If you look at it, he had written in county commissioners, and that should actually be county council because it's council everywhere else in here, but this one particular line. So if we're all in agreement that that needs to be struck and council needs to be inserted, we can move forward with this. And I will read it as it's written. We don't have a resolution number yet, but we do have. This is just a
Right
draft.
here, that's just.
Okay, check it.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. I've
It's
got the
right
real,
there.
I've got the real thing here.
Yeah.
It would be resolution number 2026-01, resolution of the Fountain County Council amending the 2026 salary schedule to move longevity pay period. Whereas the Fountain County Council has previously adopted a salary schedule for the 2026 fiscal year that provides for all longevity pay to be made in December of 2026. And whereas the Fountain County Council wishes to amend said salary schedule to have the quarterly longevity payments made quarterly based on years of service during said quarter with payments on the last pay period of each quarter. Now therefore be it resolved by the County Council of Fountain County, Indiana, that 1, the current salary schedule shall be amended for longevity pay only such that eligible employees hired in January, February, or March shall receive longevity pay the last pay period in March. Eligible employees hired in April, May, or June shall receive longevity pay the last pay period in June. Eligible employees hired July, August, or September shall receive longevity pay the last pay period in September. And eligible employees hired in October, November, or December shall receive longevity pay the last pay period in December. Employees who voluntarily terminate their employment or who are involuntarily terminated by the county prior to their scheduled payment date are not eligible for that year's longevity payment. All other resolutions or ordinances related to longevity pay not specifically modified by the resolution remain in full force and effect. Anyone have any questions?
This my only question, is that clear and does that make it easier for the auditor's office and payroll? Does that make sense?
I think, yeah.
Everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, someone's up to do it, so.
Dudley, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Todd?
Nope.
Jeff? Jeff? Okay. All in favor of resolution number 2026-01, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved, 6-0, dated March 9th, 2026.
And that has the commissioners marked out and changed to council on the now.
Yes, it's, yes,
Okay,
yeah. Commissioners have been struck, council has been inserted.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do another motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so Dudley's making the motion to strike
No, the way you
the way it's read. Okay, Dudley's making the motion to approve the way it is written. Denise has seconded that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 6-0, we've all approved that. And we've all agreed to the resolution. I will pass this down for all signatures. Okay, so we got that out. Let's circle back to the health department since we have, we need to address that. She has stated that they cannot pay the movers out of the trust.
Not fortunate, 4,150.
Yeah. So without that included, the total is 33,104.82.
Was it advertised that it was coming out of the trust?
Do you remember how that was?
Yeah.
And then I'll open the public hearing.
So. We get it out of that, so if we're paying, less 1,500, we're gonna have to advertise that, right?
If it hasn't been advertised that way already. If it's been advertised that way already, then we can move forward.
So you can pay.
Instead of
Yeah. It
It's
was
advertised.
almost
It was advertised that, it's in the rest out of 1159.
They were all 1206, right?
Right, you advertised it
Yes.
to all us, all
Yes.
six, so
Yeah.
if,
It'll have to be re-advertised.
it'll have to be re-advertised then.
Okay, just for the movers?
For all of
Right,
it.
is that what she said? No,
No,
I thought you had,
no.
yes.
Hold on.
Less than what was advertised.
right,
So we could.
She said everything but one will come out of 1206 Health Trust. Dalton Milliken, which is the movers, will have to come out of 1159, so we would just have to advertise.
and vote on it in April, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
If it can't come out 11, out of 06,
yes,
then
So-
I'll have to wait till April.
okay. So we'll take out the movers. And that'll have to be re-advertised out of 1159. Okay, so I'm going to open the public hearing on additionals at 10:24 AM. So we have, this is for the health department, so we have utilities at $1,819.82. Repair and maintenance, $7,500. IT, $4,585. Nurse liability, $1,200. And that because it was advertised during budget at $2,000 and not $20,000. So this would be the additional 18,000 to move into PEP.
Okay. Did you say 1,200 on the nurse?
12. Yes, 1,200 on nurse liability.
Even
I have
if Rick was
12,000.
12,000.
Yeah, it should be
It should be
12,000.
12,000.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. I read that incorrectly.
Yeah.
Okay, 12,000.
On the new one.
That was 12,000 advertised, okay.
12,000 for nurse liability. All right, public comment. Does anyone have any questions? Council, do you have any questions?
Oh,
Okay, hearing none, closing the public hearing at 10:26. All right, can I get a motion to approve the additionals coming out of 1206 fund for the additional for the health department?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Jeff Fisher, seconded by Denise Crowder. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries 6-0. Okay, Axion presentation.
I think that's Axios.
Axios,
Yeah.
okay.
Instead of that.
Good morning.
Good morning. We want to thank you guys for allowing us to come speak to you today. My name is Morgan Whiteman. This is Kayla Barnett, and we're with Axios Group. So the purpose of this part of the meeting is for us to just explain to the Axios how we do things and what value we can bring to Fountain County and the employees within it. So just a little background about Axios Group. The term means worthy of. So we just believe everybody's worthy of something. So we try to carry that value wherever we go. Our Axios Group is actually a supplemental insurance brokerage. A lot of the times, the counties that we work with, you guys have a broker for your major medical. They do a fantastic job of really shopping that market. There's not too many brokers specifically on the supplemental side. I'll get into a little bit of how we do things, but a little bit of background about the owners. So they came from what's called a captive company. And a captive company is like Aflac, Colonial, Globe Life. Those are all captive companies. They're only able to offer you what they have because it's all that they have to offer. So our owners decided that they realized that there was some gaps within the industry, so they wanted to be able to provide more options to their clients, and that's where they broke off and started their own brokerage, which was Axios Group. So the way that we do that is by the SIC code. So every industry has a standard industrial classification code. What that does is that raises common issues within the industry as a whole, and that helps us understand exactly what you guys need. That way we can tailor and customize a benefits package specific to the pain points of the counties that we work with. So again, it's very customized, it's very tailored. I believe currently you guys have Aflac, Colonial, and Principal for your supplemental insurance, is that correct? Okay, so the problem that we see a lot of the time is when counties or companies that we work with have multiple carriers. Sometimes it can be confusing for the employees, so they don't know necessarily who to call when they need to file claims. Sometimes they're overpaying because they're in duplicate policies across the board, and it can also be a nightmare for payroll. So that's typically where companies and counties will typically bring us in, is to kind of consolidate that down into one, since we have access to about 85 different carriers across the board on the supplemental side alone. So what we do is we essentially take Fountain County, we put you guys in a box and put you in the middle of the ring with all of the carriers, and all of the carriers will fight it out to see which one comes back with the best policies and the best price for that specific SIC code. Because we understand that the goal for most counties is to, number one, save the county money, but also put money back into the employees' pockets. In today's economy, everybody's nickel and dime, so we want to make sure that we bring you guys a carrier that's very cost effective, that elevates the coverage. So again, that's why companies typically bring us in. We also do what's called an introductory offer. There's 4 different options there. This introductory offer, every single person within your organization receives this at no additional cost, and they receive it regardless if they enroll or not. That way everybody's taken care of. You have the option of a prescription discount card, a $12,000 accidental death and dismemberment policy, a telemedicine, and an ID theft protection. So you guys would decide which one you want to choose, and every single person receives that no matter what, at no additional cost. There's a couple of Robert.
Sorry.
It's okay. We also want to mention a couple of things that we can do specifically as brokers, something that can only really be done in the broker world. A lot of the times the concern that we have when you switch carriers is, well, these employees have had these policies for 10 years, 15 years. What happens to that?
So there's something called a continuity of coverage that we could put in place. We would need to gather a couple of things from you guys, including like one of the most recent bills from your carriers, including any policy information that you would have. We would submit that to one of our carriers, and they would basically have their engineers go in line item by line item, price by price, negotiating everything down to just make it a little bit better than what you guys currently have in place. And then the continuity of coverage, that's credit for time insured. So within a insurance policy, there's something called a 12-month pre-existing and look back period, where the insurance company has the right to look back 12 months to deem something pre-existing and not pay out. What that continuity of coverage does is it essentially waives that pre-existing and 12-month look back period. And it'll make it look as if they've been in those policies for that 10 years just with a new carrier. So that way they don't have to worry about anything pre-existing. All of the policies that we do have are guaranteed issue. They're guaranteed renewable and they're portable. So if any of your employees ever leave or they retire, they can take these policies with them. And then the custom build, that's where that takes about 2 to 3 weeks for us to do, but that's where we have our engineers go in line item by line item, negotiating all the coverages, all the prices, just again to make it a little bit better than what you currently have in place. It does take a little bit of time for our engineers to do that, but that's something that we could offer as well. And there's no fees associated with our brokerage, so there's nothing that you guys have to pay. We get paid directly from the carriers. So that's also another question that we often get when it comes to being a broker.
We really would love to be like the hands and feet of the insurance company. I mean, anytime an employee has like a question or whatnot, we could give them our direct numbers, but then they wouldn't be, kind of bothering Ken or whoever else in the clerk's office trying to figure out where their things are. That sort of thing. We kind of give everybody our direct access to us, so they're not calling into a 1-800 number. It just really kind of makes things go a little bit smoother for everybody.
Do you guys have any questions for us about anything?
I'd just like to say your presentation is very nice, but I think this presentation is something that should go to the commissioners because they have the say on insurance and all those decisions. So we're just the funding body. So.
But we appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yes,
we appreciate that.
Okay.
But this is a presentation you should give to the county commissioners. And maybe you have, I don't know if you have.
I thought that we were supposed to be on the agenda last week, but we weren't there for some reason.
Oh, and last week was the commissioner.
Yeah, so then they took it months, and I think that originally we were told that we needed to be at both anyways. We needed to turn.
Yeah, it's nice to hear your presentation.
Yes,
that
yes.
Commissioners would have a decision.
But we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And commissioners will be meeting next Monday night.
Okay.
They're going to be on that agenda.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Okay, I want to go back up to the maternity leave. All right, so, have the commissioners decided anything on maternity leave for them?
I mean, they didn't vote on it, but I think Aaron's helpful.
So, from what Aaron has spoke about for Kim, is that they were thinking 12 weeks?
What is the policy now?
None.
Oh,
None.
We don't have them.
Yes. So it's 6 weeks for a vaginal birth, 8 weeks for a cesarean section that the doctors want you to be on leave. Most places, that's what as a rule offer.
Someone
offer.
asking for 12 weeks?
I don't know.
12 weeks is what's allowed by.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes,
So a lot of time. It's up to 12 weeks based on what the doctor requires you to do.
8 weeks on, 6 weeks on.
Yeah.
Or 6.
Mhm.
Got it.
Some companies offer 12, some offer the 8, some offer just the 6.
Will they have to use any of their vacation time as part of that? Because generally that's included in the
Policy.
maternity policy.
Right, so what that looks like is if they have any paid time off available to them, PTO available to them, part of the requisite is that they have to utilize that PTO time if they want up to that 12 weeks, if they don't have it, so it'd be whatever 6 or 8 plus the additional whatever their PTO is available to them. That's what some companies require.
So you don't, so we're not looking at it as their PTO first.
Well, that's, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever they decide, however they decide they wanna run that.
So nothing's been written down.
Nothing's been officially written.
No, but she was told 12 weeks.
Yeah, she was told 12.
Yeah.
So
There's been
then
no-
we have to determine how that's paid, I guess, if they decide in 12 weeks, then we have to determine how that's paid, so.
We know we know Jeff's thoughts.
Well, I think age 6 is reasonable.
It's kind of standard, that's kind of standard.
That's standard.
6
Take
to
the
8.
aid being paid, it's more,
We're standard.
more the, still was, but,
Right.
and then what I, seeing in the places that I've worked at, but about then usually, if you have paid time off, you use that first all but a week. So you're not giving up all of your vacation, understanding if you're off in January and February for a baby, you still have a week to use later in the year, so you don't use all of it.
Right.
So, for example, if I had 3 weeks vacation and I'm off for 8 weeks for the doctor, so 8 weeks is paid. The first 2 would be vacation pay, and then the next 6 weeks would be maternity pay.
Right.
And then I still have a week of vacation, pay time off to use at my discretion later in the year. If you wanna take the full 12, that final 4 is unpaid, because they still can take the full 12,
It's just unpaid.
because FMLA allows that, but the last 4 would be unpaid.
Okay.
That's just an example of one, a way to do it, but.
I think that's how liability does it. You get so many weeks. You have to utilize your PTO first, I think. Then you get your paid, and then if you want any extra time off, it would be unpaid through FMLA
That's
up
fairly
to.
common. And you can make them use all their vacation pay, or, say some allow me to save some and use it up.
Mhm.
Cause you gotta think, there's gonna be doctor's appointments, that they need to go to 6 months and 9 months, and. So that I think is the benefit of not requiring to use all of it, so that way they have some saved back for those other things.
Okay.
So how would that work if she was told one thing and then, I mean, just so she knows, because she was trying to plan,
Mhm.
I don't think anyone can vote it or anything.
Yes.
The guys either, the shams work, so. I mean, they could vote to give up to 12 weeks maternity leave, but that doesn't say that it's gonna be all paid, because that's for us to. Right,
Yes, they can set it,
We
but
wouldn't have to find the money because you would already.
Correct.
Right.
They would vote for the policy, we would vote whether or not
Policy.
Sunday.
Right.
oh,
Mhm.
So if they got that on the agenda for the 16th meeting, they do.
For maternity leave
Yeah.
to discuss,
The commission.
To make the final ruling on.
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
So we put it on our April agenda to follow up whatever they decide next week.
Right, well, how will that affect her, cause she'll be out. Having her baby.
Well,
I mean, it'll just affect her. Like,
They will
she'll
set
get
the-
paid it.
so at their meeting on the 16th, they will set the policy and how it's paid and how
And then we'll know how
it's paid, and then we just vote. To say, yep, or no, I mean,
Right,
yeah.
I got a question, and I'm not having any.
to.
I just have a question, because I was around that when I was told that it's 12 weeks paid. And I think why it was okay is because that position's already taken care of. And no one's having to come in and pay her and someone else.
Right.
So. That's just a question, that if I was in the shoes, I don't really know why I'm being told that. And I think an email was supposed to be sent out. Not my problem,
Right.
I just thought I'd voice that, because I wouldn't want to be in that position.
Yeah, that was my understanding, it's mine's already set in the budget, so the 12 weeks is paid. I don't even have a week's vacation right now, I have 1 day, I don't get another week until I've been in August for 2 years.
But we gotta go through the process.
Yeah, I think it was premature to
Yeah, I should.
make
Yeah.
statements,
I
yeah.
was saying when I was told, I was told I'm set with my 12 weeks,
Right.
and that's what I was planning on.
Yeah, they will have to make the call or the decision or the ruling at their meeting, and then we just do our vote. And it's done, so, but I think there needs to, they gotta lay out what the rules are, like what that looks like, so. Okay. All right, we will go back to Bussey Excavating.
I have a question on that. Of course, I brought up that they do have a septic tank and a good finger system, and that was gonna be checked on to see if it was okay with whoever all that was in there, if it was sufficient. So, has that been done?
Well, didn't Jenny say that she thought it had collapsed?
Okay,
We have. Is that because she thinks or
Thinks or-
told her
yeah.
that, or I'd rather wait, and make sure we have an issue before we spend
Right.
2085.
Okay, so it's 28,532, and that would be to install a D-3696L Liberty grinder station, dual pumps at the health department. They will set the unit and plumb the inlet and the outlet. The town of Petersburg is to tap into the pressure line. And Fountain County is to have a 240 watt power on the southwest corner of the building for the contractor to connect to. The pump and dispose of the septic tank and tap the line to the finger system. They will repair the blacktop and on the drive to make the electrical connection, and the total cost listed is $28,532. I do remember Mr. Azar had presented an estimate for just the lift at $36,000. That was not including the work to install or any other additional equipment needed.
And does this include the 240 watt power?
I think this is the total for everything that is listed up here above.
that's what I was told.
But we don't know for sure whether it needs to be done or not, right?
Did Jenny get anything back on that?
Sewer system?
Not that I'm
I mean,
aware of.
if it's
Not that I'm aware
if
of.
it's backing up and causing a problem, that's fine, but I just know I talked to the people that put it in and they thought it was a pretty good system for the building and for the amount of people that were in there, but it's been in there for 25 years. But I said to her in the meeting, I asked her, I said, will you let it go for a month, or maybe I didn't say it that way, but let it go for a month or so and check it and see what you think before we spend that much money. Just use the septic tank.
That's because there's not a whole lot of people on the other side.
Yeah.
Where's that money coming out of?
Well, that would probably,
the
that
other
would
thing, right?
have to be an additional probably, and we will have to advertise for that.
Along with the $4,000 we have to.
Pay for the
Yeah.
moving. And then that takes, that should take care of everything. I'm almost certain that takes care of everything.
Are you supposed to have engineering too? I did, when I did mine at the station, I had to have engineering too. That's more money,
Mhm.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'd like to see a report on the sewage system. Whether it's not working, or if it is, that needs to be inspected, I would think.
Okay, so I will make a note to let Aaron know that we, the council would like to have the septic looked at, if it hasn't been. Before we approve this expenditure. Yeah, we can table this and move it to our next agenda. Mhm.
No.
Probably ought to not.
Okay.
Don't advertise.
Yeah,
Just make sure you advertise that, moving expense,
yeah,
the 4,000.
For the next, right.
how do you feel about advertising for this expenditure now if we move forward and everything? You know, worst case scenario with the septic. I really don't want to.
I don't either.
Has Aaron, you probably communicate more than not any of us, has he thrown up his hands and said, hey, this thing isn't working as far as to you?
Not to
The
me
septic isn't
personally.
working.
You guys? Okay.
And I asked Jenny the question, she hasn't responded back.
Who put that on, who actually put that on the agenda?
I want to say Aaron, but I'd have to go back and look.
Well, that's okay, don't worry.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was Aaron.
Well,
So we did not hook up to the.
I'm not ahead,
Yeah.
but I just brought up. Check out your old system first, see if it's working good, but I talked to him, and put it in. And. And then I saw it on the agenda, I'm thinking, well, I didn't have heard anything before,
No, we haven't gotten the information, so,
but Aaron must, I don't know him. Why?
I can't
He
imagine
ain't
him
called
just
him.
bringing this to me without. Or to all of us, I think he brought it to the council.
Am I mistaken, or when we gonna abandon that?
That's what we talked about last time, yeah, just leaving it well enough alone.
I think I brought it up.
I mean, that's a lot. If you don't spend 30,000, that's. I mean, if it's. Something like that.
Jenny, I do remember Jenny saying there's a depression where the septic tank sits. And her thought was, she thought it had sunk or caved in
It's a,
last. It's a poly, isn't it?
yeah, it's a policy.
It's possible.
Most of them are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make sure that, they're having problems.
Yes. Because right now they're not seeing it because there's not enough activity. You
And
know, it's not like a home where we have lots of people going to the restroom all the time.
I can't remember his name, but the guy that does the, that's on the payroll in there. Eric, he could find somebody that has.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So,
Yeah, Johnson's does.
There's somebody
Right,
like
yeah.
that right there.
This mic wouldn't work.
I think we should.
No question.
Aaron said that he was told by Jenny that the water wasn't getting away. I don't know what that means, but he does not know about it not working.
Make a motion on the table that.
Okay, Denise will make the motion to table the Bussey excavating invoice,
I second it.
seconded by Jeff Fischerow. All in favor, say aye. Aye, 6-0.
You want that at the joint meeting or? In April?
Yeah, it'll have to be put on their meeting. They can do it next week as long as, and I'll speak to him about getting someone to go out there and look at it. If you guys would like, yes,
Two comments on that.
okay,
Jenny, when she's talking about water not getting away, it's not dispersing through the field. The field's probably saturated. If there's a perimeter drain or not, which takes the water away from the field. That is something that I don't know. So with that water not getting out of the field, then it can't go anywhere. So it is a problem.
okay,
The only thing that I would add to this, through my experience with septic, is that you're better off if you can hook to the town, Price wise, you're gonna, if you maintenance this septic system 10 years down the road, you're gonna put some more money in there.
mhm,
It's just a given because it's already showing you that it's got a problem. So one of those things that either spend the money now and hook to it, or down the road, you're gonna add more money to that system with not being hooked up. So
yeah,
or
or
if
you,
it's working, you may be able to delay it. You just wanna recognize that if they have a failure, a total failure, it's gonna have to be done quickly.
mhm,
Either that or bring in a port money.
everyone will love that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my experience of Tucson.
So that kind of answers the water not being able to get away. Okay, well, we'll send it to the commissioners and let them look at it, and then we'll bring it back around to us at our April meeting. Okay, what else do we have on here? I think that was pretty
Nothing
much
really.
all of the business. I wanted to, and I talked to Kim about this, and you can give me your thoughts, council. Budget hearing time. I have asked Kim, as soon as she gets the budget worksheets, to get them to us as quickly as possible so we can start looking at those individually. Making notations for our budget hearings. Also, I would like for no additions to any budget worksheets that get submitted after August 1. They can't make any additions. Corrections, yes, but no additions. I think we have to be able to nail the budget down as best as we can, and having all these additions later on during the budget process just makes it much more difficult. And I do not want to end up with the situation last year where the salaries were voted on about, 12th hour of 2025. I'd like to get those all done at the same time if we can. I just think that creates some unnecessary work unless we absolutely have to. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. And I would like all the budget sheets submitted to Kim by June 1, Kim?
Yeah.
By June 1, if possible.
It's not that we miss things. I mean, and
Sure.
it's not that we're not doing our due diligence, that I think that's a good idea, and really concentrate on it pretty hard.
Because going into 27 is when
Yeah.
the state said we're going to really start seeing the effects of SB 1. And we are so cognizant that we don't know what that funding is going to look like, and we want to just be able to do our very best that we can possibly do for everyone. So, and I have faith in every department that they'll be able to do their best for their budgets and really be able to work with us and nail this down. So
Sounds like too, stays on path the way it is, our jobs have changed too.
that's what it sounds like. Yes. So I think there's going to be some things that are going to be taken out of our hands and some things that will be added.
Oh, yeah.
So and not by choice. So any comments from the public? Mr. Schrock?
Question, you just mentioned we don't know what it's gonna look like in 2027. Do you know, do you have any idea yet? What kind of monies are coming? Or not, still not?
Not really.
When that's gonna happen?
We can't bank on what we've always gotten because from what we've been told, that's not gonna happen, but we really
I
have,
don't know when that's gonna.
We can ask.
You're notified of how much you're gonna have.
right, so we can put in our budgets. We can submit those budgets as presented, but the state may say, sorry. It happens every year. I mean, we go through it every year that the highway department, we have to cut that budget. We don't meet the requirement of what we take in, so. It's up to their discretion.
So it'll affect 2027 fiscal year.
That's where we're really gonna start seeing the changes,
It takes
according to
effect
them.
January 2028, right?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
SB1 doesn't take effect till 2028.
Mhm.
So maybe sometime next year we'll know what our money's gonna look like. Or whether the legislature next January, February, March may just change the whole thing and throw it out the window. We don't.
Yeah,
They're getting a lot of flack from counties about the changes, so they may make some changes to it next year.
and there has been talk of amending some of the things that are in that bill, so. Keeping our fingers crossed that. They do make some changes that will be more beneficial than what we're getting.
So the way it's looking, it'll be property tax, increases. I
Yes,
mean, that's their thing they're working on, is just less property tax for property taxpayers, so.
and I know there have been some cities that have implemented. A higher income tax rate. Sales tax. I've talked to a gentleman from Montgomery County just over this past week. That's what they were looking at doing, so. That's just where it stands, so.
Can I make a comment on that? I don't know if this is even the group that it should go to, but. One of my sons went through a macroeconomics class for college, and I believe it was Boston. I'll say it's Boston. Had an issue of how do we increase our revenue? And they had two models. You either increase the taxes. Or, and if you increase taxes, what does that do to how does that filter down to the families? Or you can decrease the taxes. Doesn't that sound kind of counterintuitive? If you increase the taxes, they have less, each family has less money. Net spendable income. To be able to buy goods and services. If you decrease the taxes. It actually left more money in the family's net spendable income. So they were able to buy more goods and services, which made it possible in their account, in their city, Boston. So in their city, they were able to buy more goods and services, which filtered down that every transaction, the city got their share of a bit more of the goods and services that were bought. So you bought the tires, and the mechanic store paid the employee, and the employee bought. They were busier, so they bought the diapers, and they bought the groceries, whereas if it didn't have, if it increased the taxes, well, people had less to spend, so they couldn't go out and buy the tires, they couldn't. go out and buy the diapers and groceries. So it actually brought in more money to decrease their taxes. How does that? Because of the.
They had the option of buying those things.
Because they had more money in their pocket.
They weren't forced to, yeah, I see that.
So that if that. You're saying Montgomery County and then some of the cities. Are gonna increase, what did it do for them? I know the person that one of the mayors in the past increased taxes. And what did it do? Well, everybody went shopping and somewhere else, you know, they would shop.
And I do know that because it was asked of me to bring it forward. And that's an innkeeper's tax. Most people don't realize that in Fountain County. You have bed and breakfasts, you have campgrounds, you have hotels, and would the county council look into an innkeeper's tax? So, and those are, you know, you're taxing people that come here for recreation. It's not necessarily the people that live here. So. I said I would bring it forward, and so I brought it forward to the council. You're interested in an innkeeper's tax. You know, money can be made from it, but you know, it's.
Do you push away business? Because
Yes.
it's in that, one of the suburbs of Chicago, I can think of Barrington. Park, anyway, they actually 11% tax, city tax. 11%. Now, how does that, I mean, if you have people go to Barrington or because of a. You know, whatever draws them there for their business and you can put on an 11% tax, so you. Well, you might choose a different. Bed and breakfast because it's now. So much higher. To come to Covington for an event or to Fountain County bed and breakfast. Because it's so much higher. I'm gonna check out Shades instead of. Shades State Park, maybe buy, maybe rent one.
It's a caveat, isn't it? You gotta find the happy medium, so.
Absolutely.
You don't wanna drive away people here for recreation because they utilize a lot of other things here, you
Right.
know, our grocery stores, our gas stations. Our restaurants, you know,
Yes.
and maybe someone might get their hair cut while they're here or whatever, so you don't want to. Cause a potential. Driving people away, you know, you wanna attract people to come, so. Anything else from the audience?
No.
Mr. Laswell?
Real quick, just something I forgot, since we're speaking about increased revenue. The neighboring county that I did talk to the director, their budget the revenue went from 300,000 to 1.3. With
Oh, with billing, the 911
So,
billing,
they weren't optimally billing at the beginning of that, so that's maybe not fair. Or not gonna happen every time, but that's the increase that they made. It's basically $1 million.
wow. Okay,
Plus the regular local shops that you shop at.
exactly. Exactly,
You may make $20 all companies, they may spend $100.
right. All right, it's lots of things to look at in that picture, so. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion by Jeff Carver, seconded
Second.
by Todd Haig. All those in favor say aye. Aye, 6-0. Adjourned at 11:04. Thank you, everyone.